Hello, and this is the Warpforge with another Batman Miniatures game update. And as you can see here, I've been hard at work painting up the Freeze gang. So, I'm really excited to show these in battle reports by the time of this recording. Hopefully I'll have a battle report with the Freeze gang all set up. It will be with Freeze and Killer Frost though, as I haven't painted Captain Cold yet at that date when I made that battle report. But I hope to use Captain Cold soon. He seems like a magnificent sidekick, and I'm really looking forward just to using loads of freeze ray beams. On another note, I have ordered the Freeze Gang's Thug Set 1, but I'm still waiting for... not responses. I'm still waiting for the order to come through, because I ordered that with some more ice templates and some safe boxes. Now, according to my order, the thugs and the templates are picked up, but they're still waiting on the safe boxes, so that means I have to wait for them, and apparently they're taking forever. Well, it appears to be, so hopefully they'll come soon, because I'm really looking forward to just painting some more henchmen for Freeze and just getting more henchmen up. So, without further ado, we'll go into a closer look of MrFreeze. And here we have the man himself, the tank, that is MrFreeze. This variant is based on his Arkham Knight variant, as you can see. I'm very happy with how I've painted him up. I think the biggest challenge I've had was how do I get the reflective, like, tinfoil microwave look on his clothing that he uses for his legs, and the simplest answer is I couldn't. I'm not that I'm not that good of a painter just yet. So I looked at the paint job of how Knight's models have done it on the back of the card, or on the back of like the store card thing, on the stock card, thinking like how have they done it? And I did it somewhat similar to how they did it. I think mine's a little bit different, but it's similar to how Games Workshop paint their Spirit Wraiths, which was a bit of like lightish grey, like not all the way white, but not all the way grey, just in between. It was Vigello's Ghost Grey, then a wash of Citadel's Nihila Oxide wash, and as you can see, I think the results paid off. I think it looks really nice at the moment. But yeah, as you can see, that is MrFreeze. A load of stuff that I learnt over the course of painting this guy, like how to do the chest plate and how to do the body pads, as you can see underneath the chest plate. In short, dry brushing is not as villainous as it seems. I always try and like avoid dry brushing because I don't want it to be a go-to for me miniatures, but on Victor I needed to get the different layers of depth between like the light grey area of his chest pad and the whole of the helmet and the whole of the body armor. I need to get different differentiation of depth, which I feel I've managed to achieve. But yeah, same with all like the clothing as well and his crotch piece. I did study and look agonizingly at the Arkham Knight model in the video game of MrFreeze, because you get that if you complete the DLC mission that this variant's from. I just studied that like anything. Inside of, as you can see, inside of the model I have painted Victor's face as well, which was probably a very big challenge for me as well, because with this model of MrFreeze, it is all in one model, so it's like the head is not detachable. It is, if you've seen the unboxing video, it comes exactly like that, as you can see on the finished model. The only thing that you need to attach is his arm cannon that he's busy pointing outwards towards some enemy. But aside from that, it's very much one piece. Another thing which I quite liked about what I've learned on this model is on the base, on the industrial bit, I've added frosting onto it to make it look like it's just frosted over, because obviously when you're around Freeze, things tend to get cold. So I'm quite happy with how I've done that. It's a very big learning experience for us, and I applied that to all my other models. So we'll go on to the next model. So here we have Killer Frost. Now this is the Injustice variant of the model, but I decided to paint her a bit differently. What I wanted to try and go for was the Assault on Arkham look, because it'll fit A, the Arkham games, and B, I just thought it was a nicer scheme and easier to paint than whatever the original looked like. Plus, I wanted a paler flesh. I didn't really like the look of the whole purple flesh kind of thing. So I thought, paint it from like Assault on Arkham, have some bit of nostalgia there, including the Arkhamverse stuff, and it's close enough. So I'm quite happy with how she's turned out. She was a lot simpler than I thought, but again, this was painted a lot earlier than the likes of MrFreeze as well. I think the big thing that I like about this model that I've painted is the hair, because all I've done is picked out the raised areas rather than think of the whole thing as each piece of hair is like a strand. Just go for chunks and raise the chunks out, and I think I've accomplished that quite well after like washing it down and stuff. So yeah, I think I like this model, and you will see her play in the next battle report. So on to the next sidekick. So recently painted and added to the table, it's the one, the only Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold. So yeah, I absolutely adore this model. I've spent literally all night painting this guy up, and I'm quite happy with the results. I like how I've done the raised areas on Captain Cold. I decided to mix a few paints, so I decided to mix which paints? Cantor Blue for like a base coat, wash it down with Badab Black, then raise it up, then apply Cantor Blue again in a thin layer or two thin layers over the raised areas, and then mixed it with Altdorf Guard Blue from Citadel's layer range, and then applied it on the raised areas. And then I mixed that mixture with Teclis Blue from Citadel layer again, and applied it to the raised areas, and I think it's made a very juicy looking Captain Cold, in my opinion. Again, the frosted on the base I'm quite happy with. That's exactly what I wanted. And Snart was a lot easier than I thought, because I decided to look around the place, because I looked at the stock image and his shirt looked a bit green. I was thinking, I've already assembled the model, I think it's not going to fail, but just something I couldn't be bothered with. So I end up looking on the stock images of or screenshots of the Flash TV series, and I end up finding out that he's just all black. He just wears black suit, and the only bit of colour that he has is his shirt. So yeah, he wears black gloves, and obviously his face is the only flesh that's shown. Another thing I learned, because I decided to use somebody else's technique to apply the hair on. So what I did was I mixed a bit of elf skin tone with, if I get the paint out, elf skin tone from Vigello's Game Colour with Citadel Layers Scream and Skull to make that pale flesh look. Applied a few layers on just to thicken it up, and then mixed that with Vigello's Game Colour's Cold Grey, and then applied the hair on as you see him now. So yeah, I then washed it down with Ogrim Flesh, and then applied very thinly another layer of the mixture of the elf skin tone and the Screaming Skull layer, just to give it some more depth for the actual skin on the face. The goggles were basically a mixture of Cold Grey and Abaddon Black from both Vigello and Citadel colours. And the actual lenses were a mixture of Altdorf Guard Blue, a base coat of Cantor Blue, then a mixture of Altdorf Guard Blue with Teclis Blue, just to highlight and just to brighten the face, the goggles out a bit more. The gun was simple, very simple. It was simply the lead belcher metal, or lead belcher gun metal from Citadel's colours, or from Vigello Game Colour, which is exactly the same colour, gun metal metal Very simple name to go by. Base coat, wash with Badab Black, and then I applied the glowy bits, which was hawk turquoise, or what is it called? Just turquoise for Visual's game colour range. Just dry brushed it around the place. Then I applied a simple highlight of Visual's game colours electric blue, and then even a smaller highlight of dead white onto the gun and the side there. And the same applies for the front there. All the white bits are dead white. I did a little bit of I didn't quite go into as much detail as on the front, only because on the back of the gun it's harder to get to. I think everyone really just pays attention to the front of the gun anyway. Obviously you've got the little bit of fur there. I can't remember, the Eskimo fur bit. That was just simple Scream and Layer skull with Urgrax shade wash on top. And as you see, the black suit was just dry brush mixture of Badab Black and cold grey, if I hadn't said that. And same the goggles, is the same with the gloves as well. I then washed it all down with Badab Black and then re-dry brushed all the raised areas with this mixture I've just said. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Captain Cold. I'm reading through his card and he seems like a really good sidekick. I like how he's got accurate on his gun, and I like how he's got ranged master as well. So all those speedsters like the Flash is not safe around this guy. And plus he also fires off an ice template, and I just love ice templates, as I've learned from the battle report, which you will see. Obviously, I can't go into too much or too many spoilers because that would ruin the battle report. So yeah, we'll go on to the henchmen now. Here are the henchmen from the starter set. Now, obviously, like I've just said, I am waiting for the colours of... not Scream and Skull. I am waiting for the colours of... not the colours. The Henchmen Thug Set 1. As I've said, mentioned earlier before, but these are what I got painted. Hockey Stick Goon is great. He does have the downside on only damaging on a 5-up, but he's a good bit of fun, and he's a tough one to boot. He's defense 3 with endurance 6. If anything, he's going to sit on an objective and say, "Come at me," because endurance 6 is a tough boat. And then we get to the more interesting, or at least in my perspective, the more interesting bits, which is the refrigeration guns on the enemy, on the Freeze gang. These both look the same, but they play different. So to differentiate them, aside from pose to make it help or make it easier for my opponents, I've tagged them with numbers on the end, with ghost grey. And I also painted the guns different. As you can see, one is non-metallics, which is Snowy 2 over here, and one is in metallics, Snowy 1 over there, as I've just pointed. So I hope that helps out with how all this goes down. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the results on these. As you can see from the back, I like the frosting over the metals. That's what I'm most proud of in these models, in these miniatures. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting the first set in, because once I get that first set in, I can do me gang, because after that, it's just painting those two and then Victor Zaz, and then I'm going to play around with Captain Cold, Victor Zaz, and MrFreeze. So having all the henchman buffs with Freeze, sorry, not the henchman buffs, the psychic synergies that Cole can provide, plus the offensive capabilities of Freeze with his ice flash and his refrigeration cannon, keeping things frozen. And then when everything is frozen, we just send Zaz in and he just cuts things apart, because that's what Zaz does. He liberates people with his knives. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing around with that, seeing what happens, and just hopefully breaking into the strategies once again with opponents, hopefully in the future. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using them, and I'm looking forward to just playing around with all this, because I am so excited for this Freeze gang. I really am, folks. So as you can see, that is the Freeze gang so far. I have picked up Heatwave, as you've seen in a previous video, And I'm not going to paint him up just yet because I want to play around with Freeze first and then use either Killer Frost or Captain Cold as a sidekick boss and play around with that for a bit. But at the moment, I've got to play with Freeze. I've got to play with my boy. I've waited 2 years for him. He's here, he's in the flesh, and he's been painted. So it's just rocking on with those battle reports. I can't wait to do so many battle reports. Whenever I can get a game, I'm going to try and do a battle report, because I am really, really wanting to push Batman out there, and I'm really wanting to push MrFreeze out there into the community, because MrFreeze is my boy and he's my gang. Really looking forward to seeing more Freeze content on this channel. So anyway, that is the Batman Miniatures game update. If you enjoyed what you've seen, you can't wait, and I'll have the same hype train as I do for Freeze things and cold things on this channel, then please subscribe and hit the notifications button so that you're kept updated on my channel stuff and Batman updates. If you like this video, then please hit the like button. If you want to share this video out because you know a friend or a few friends that want to go up against the Freeze gang or want to fight with the Freeze gang or for the Freeze gang, then share the video out there and just get the momentum going. If you want to talk about anything in the comment section below, then please comment below. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone in the comment section about this video, obviously. So thank you for watching. This is the Warp Forge signing out, and remember, keep on forging.